What up? What up? What up? NFL Week 2, Thursday Night Football action. We got Commanders taking on the Green Bay Packers. And welcome my boy Shane. What's up, Shane?
Hey yo,
What?
football week 2.
All right, before we get started, I just want to take a quick fucking second here. We're recording this on Wednesday the 10th. Obviously, some crazy shit went down today in Utah. Just want to take a minute to give our respects to Mr. Kirk and his family. Not a political show at all, not in any aspect, but and nothing to do with his politics or what he says or what he agrees or disagrees on, but just in general, his family. Just tough scene today in Utah for him, and pay respects him and praying for his family and his friends. So just want to take a quick minute for that. Obviously, tough day for America, I think, in general. Just no political side, just in terms of just country we're in, the state we're in now. Just a tough day in general. So, but that's that. We'll move into what we're here for, and that is football. Week 2. Thursday Night Football, we got the Commanders taking on the Green Bay Packers. Packers given the Commanders 3.5 at home. Packers off a pretty polarizing Week 1 victory over the Detroit Lions, who looked like a minor league team compared to what we've seen in the past couple of years with Brian Campbell. But week two is what we call the overreaction week. We've seen one game, either good or bad, and the public or vast majority of bettors take that and run with it. So this is the biggest week in terms of where the books succeed in taking your money, because it's called the overreaction week. So try not to do that. Try to use your data and use what you use to place your bets as a common, and don't use last week as a starting point, because it's 1 week, right? So with that, Shane, what you got in this Commanders game?
Last week we saw both these teams win. The Commanders beating on my Giants. I saw that coming from a mile away. Offense looked just as good as it did every other year for them. The Commanders on offense weren't the greatest. I know they put up 21, but I wasn't watching that and be like, oh, this looks like how they looked last year, being dynamic on offense, yada yada. Jane Daniels still looks like him, but overall their run game wasn't that good. Your boy JCM, his stats look really good because of that 40-yarder he broke in garbage time.
Hell yeah!
But besides that, how'd that work out for you in fantasy though? But overall their run game wasn't the greatest. Pressure was getting in on Jaden Daniels from the Giants front, and now they're going against the Packers front, where we see Micah Parsons is going to be more involved than he was last week, and he was already a major factor against the Lions offensive line, who they lost Ragnow, but they still have a lot of pieces on that line to be strong. They're definitely still in the top 10 for offensive lines. And the Commanders, I would not say as much. So I think up front, the Packers have a huge advantage. You have the Packers at home. Matt LaFleur is 8-0 ATS at home in his first 3 games of the season since 2019. He gets his team starting hot every year. Just the vibes of this Packers team, it feels different. Obviously, you bring in Micah, but last week the manhandling they had on the Lions, they look like, I don't want to say they're with the Eagles yet because it's only 1 week, but they definitely look like they took a step. Because the Lions had the best record in the NFC last year, and they made them look like fools. I really like the Packers in this game. I think they're going to win in up front on both sides of the ball. I could see a lot of running with Josh Jacobs. I could see Jordan Love still airing up on this terrible Commanders secondary. Marshawn Lattimore should probably not be in the league anymore, but he's their number 1 corner. That's really all I got here. I think the Packers roll here against Washington.
Yeah, can't really disagree with much you said there. I mean, like I said, week 2 is the overreaction week. Do we think the Packers play like that every single week? Probably not. Is that maybe the best we see of them this year? Maybe. More than likely, that is the best, or maybe the top tier what we see in terms of a Packers game. They came out ready to play. They had a scheme defensively ready for Jared Goff. Didn't have his best game, obviously, but I think in terms of like hype, right? Like we talk about hype a lot in terms of like the market of sports betting. This team is number one right now in terms of hype, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
You got Micah Parsons coming in. We talked about this last week. Micah Parsons coming in. You got a young core on offense in terms of Jordan Love and the young group we have, or they have in terms of wide receivers. A very good young tight end in Kraft. And then what we saw last year in terms of just a machine at the running back position in terms of Josh Jacobs. So I think expectations are rising higher than week one just because of what we saw last week. I'm not expecting a downgrade in performance in anything in terms of like what we should expect from them. I do think that coaching in terms of Matt LaFleur will have this team ready to go and keeping their sights on the prize type of thing here for them in week 2. Good thing is they stay at home. They're not traveling, which would be good for them. I have this game as a 5-point game. To break it down, I had them winning by 4.6, so let's make it 5. Very close to a bet here for me. Obviously, 5 isn't a key number in football. But if this line, if you can get a good, decent line at 3.5, like a -105, or even a 3 at -120 or better, I think it has some value there. But also, we talked about hype, right? It's Commanders in the same boat, kind of. Huge expectations this year, just because of what happened last year for Jayden Daniels and that whole squad. We talked about the luck factor too, how they're coming into season number 2 really of this unit, and them having a lot of luck last year in terms of turnovers and in terms of 50-yard Hail Marys. And I think the pressure's on them this year to silence that crowd. They silenced them in week 1. Wasn't really impressed with what they did in week 1. I mean, the Giants really held them out in that aspect in terms of just no run game and putting Russell Wilson in just horrible spots. I agree with Dable that wasn't really on Russ that game. I think they just put him in bad spots. I think it was like 60% of the runs were either for no gain or negative gain. So putting him in a lot of second and longs, third and longs didn't help him at all. But anyways, I think this is to be the first. I mean, it's week 2, but we'll see these two teams in terms of I think we're going to see what they really are in this game. I think both teams are ready to play. Week 2, it's not week 1 where the jitters are gone now. It's time to play football. And I think you're going to see either Green Bay be the dominant team that expectations are set for them. Same for Washington in that same aspect, but I think we'll get a better idea heading to week 3 of what these two teams are, and maybe the two most hyped teams in the league right now in the Commanders and Green Bay. So lean the Packers here. I don't like the hook at the 3.5. Rather have the 3 if you can get that closer to game time, or you can get it live. Do let the Packers here, just in terms of just overall talent. Defensively, front 7, I think it's better for Green Bay at home in a primetime football game. The line hasn't moved too much. A little surprise hasn't gone up for the Packers just because of what we saw in week 1. But yeah, I would lean Packers here. Wouldn't mind it in a type of a live money line piece too if they go down 3 early. See what we can get with that. But yeah, definitely lean the Packers here in Thursday Night Football. I know Shane has 2 bets for this game. One being, of course, Green Bay laying the points. While we're here, we can go over last week as well.
No, we're not gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that.
Well, we will just for the people in general. But last week, where is it? Let me pull this up real quick. Last week we went. I went 3-2. Could have really been a 5-0 card with the Ravens here, and the Eagles kind of blowing it late. Eagles had a chance to cover that probably 3 times in the fourth quarter. They only scored 3 points, letting up none. And then, of course, the Ravens there in Sunday Night Football blowing a significant lead in the second half. But I think Shane and I both like the Browns in this first game. We had that one covering the Raiders, which I think like nobody was on.
A lot of people were on the Patriots.
Yeah, Raiders plus 2.5 was actually my sneakiest pick of the week there. That covered pretty easily with a 7-point outright win. And the Broncos, man, I got the right number here because it closed at 8. I think some plays 8.5, and the game ended on 8. This is what I mean when if you guys see me on Twitter talking about closing line value and taking lines early. If I waited till kickoff to bet the Eagles, no chance. Right, 8.5 had no shot. The Browns were good. Closed that I think 4 would have covered either way. Raiders would have covered. Line didn't move at all. But the Broncos, right? Broncos cover ended or closed at 8.5. Either way, I don't win that bet. You push or you lose. So these half points and these line moves matter a whole lot. And it basically takes you from a winning day to a losing day. And that's what helped us be 3-0 on Sunday with the Browns, Raiders, and Broncos all cashing. And unfortunately couldn't go 4-0 Sunday night with the Ravens squandering that. In terms for Shane, obviously kicked off the season with a winner there with the Chiefs Chargers over. Had a score late to help with that. Steelers Jets, kind of probably the most surprising game in terms of scoring. Did not expect that to be a quarterback battle. Maybe one way with Rodgers, but definitely not with Fields. The Dolphins. We can move on to that one. Panthers Jags, kind of similar to the Jets, right? I agree with this one too. We both saw some young teams looking to put up some points, and it just turned into a divisional battle. The weather didn't help either with the weather delay in the first half, and then the Lions just didn't come out to play on the road in Green Bay. So look to do better in week 2. For now, we'll go over Shane's 2 picks for tonight, being the Packers laying the points and Jordan Love with a touchdown. Shane, want to go over the Jordan Love pick?
Yeah, this Commanders secondary is just bum cheeks. If the Giants had like a competent offensive line, Russ would have been able to do stuff. And I trust Jordan Love in this spot a lot more than I did Russ last week. But like Marshawn Lattimore's their headpiece in the secondary, and he like consistently underperforms now. He's not the same dude he was when he was a rookie, winning Rookie of the Year. They have all these pass catchers in Green Bay. They're going to look to get them all involved. If you want a sneaky touchdown guy, I think Tucker Kraft finds the end zone again today. Jordan Love seems to love finding Tucker Kraft when they're in like that 5 to 10 yard line for the touchdown. I think they look to get Matthew Golden more involved. The rookie, he only played like 58% or so of the snaps. You draft him to be your number 1. He needs to be out there more. But they just have a bunch of dudes that can probably gash this Commander secondary. So I like Jordan Love's ability to throw it on them and get some scores.
Nice. Awesome. Good stuff. All right. As we close here, obviously week 2 starting here with a great game of Thursday Night Football. We'll be back. This will be posted, or the main stuff will be posted on for Sunday in terms of Sunday games. We got 2 Monday night games as well this week. We'll be talking about Sunday. That will be posted probably around 10, 11 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday. We'll talk about our other bets we have. So 2 going tonight. We got I think 10 more going Sunday. So plenty of action from us. Plenty of intel for you guys. Get back here. Like I said, Sunday around 11 o'clock, we'll be back for the Sunday slate. So peace out, fellas.